Hi.
Hello.
Hello. So we have Srishti today with us.
Yes. And so Mahesh and I have like discussed a lot about the product strategy. And today we're wanting to discuss the marketing strategy, which we feel that sits um, with the product strategy. So whenever you're determining your product strategy is when you would be also looking at your marketing strategy. So I think today we'll just discuss about what falls under the marketing strategy and why is it important. Yeah.
Yes. Srishti, yes, I want to tell this that you have uh, a teacher vibe. Both of us,
What?
both of us are feeling
Students.
very conscious to talk anything in front of you.
The teacher is, yeah. Yeah, good for us. Yeah.
Yes, I will give my inputs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have developed that vibe over so many years now.
That's good. I think we needed a teacher on the series. Yes. So I think maybe if we discuss the product strategy, how not the product strategy, the marketing strategy, um, in regards to a startup and in regards to a retailer, established brand, I think it will be different, but it probably does the same work. It's just as important. For a startup, yes, like having that defined is
Yeah.
essential because that's the whole branding depends on
Hmm.
it. But yeah, I think like we can put give our inputs around retailers that we work for and brands that we work for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahesh, you were giving an example of that manufacturer, Indian manufacturer that wants to venture into the Indian market with its own product. And you said they've already launched a product line.
Right.
So I think,
So,
yeah, it would be important for them to have a clear understanding of the branding, marketing.
yeah. Are you talking about the Amazon thing? That
You were talking about some manufacturer who has manufacturing and they also have their products selling in the country.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was talking about two of them. One already were there in Amazon. So when we
Okay.
intervened and wanted to increase their sales and with respect to marketing, for first what we did in Amazon is that we did a couple of things which helped them to double the sales.
Hmm.
And previously they believed that they could not they hit a saturation point and they're not able to they hit a plateau and they were not able to sell anymore. So the first thing that we did was that we did some kind of an SEO for their title and the description and all of that. We corrected their SEO and made it like much more searchable so that people can search and they can find out their products to be good. That's the first thing that we did. The second change that we did is that in marketing we also bundled their products. So it was only two pack. What we did is we did one pack, two pack, three pack, four pack, five pack, up to like six or eight packs we did, which the brand thought that why should you have eight packs and all of that. But however, we did the eight packs, and also we streamlined the pricing also of the eight packs. Before, what happened is some five pack was more expensive than two packs. So because they wanted to do something, so we took a call and we said that the two pack has to be more expensive than the five pack, and we increased the pricing of the two pack, which they were initially against because they did not because they said that the two pack is selling very high, so it could be price sensitive. But then we thought that it doesn't make any sense and it'll hurt the five pack sale. So we changed the pricing, we added more bundle packaging, and in Amazon there is this option of when somebody clicks the product, which is the default product. Initially, their default product was two pack. We changed the default product to three pack. I think this is pretty much the three things that we did. We changed we improved them on the SEO so that it's more discoverable. Second is we added like a lot of bundle packaging, like up to five, and I think five, eight, and then after eight we did even 12 because yeah, because statistics says that if you keep having more packs and the price, you keep decreasing the price, somebody who wants to really buy a 12 pack will always choose, and they'll buy, they'll make it make sense for them, and there is always somebody who's going to buy a bundle packaging. So we did that, we did bundle packaging, and then we changed the default product as a 3 pack instead of a 2 pack. When we did these three things within 3 months, I think they were able to double their sales. They were making somewhere around in INR, they were making somewhere around 16 lakhs, and then it doubled to around 29, 30 lakhs per month. This was per month sale.
Okay.
So from being like an annual turnover of somewhere around 2 crores per year, they became like a 4 crore, like which is like a half a million US
Yeah.
dollar at that time. Yeah, so
Yeah.
now the exchange rate is different. So they
Okay.
became a 500,000 USD brand. So those are the things that we did in online. So online, it's usually playing with the bundle packaging and correcting your prices, and then doing SEO usually works. And also we launched their own e-commerce store, so that becomes an uh, additional place for sales. These were all an extra thing that we did, but we just corrected we just looked into like the core retail principle and corrected the three things for them to double, and then we added on like as a phase two, we also had their store, like an e-commerce store open, and social media was completely, what we did was in social media is that we would send all our products to an influencer. We'll ask them to use it, and then
Hmm.
we say that if you like it, then you can have a paid collaboration. So we would, because we started doing it, a lot of influencers started approaching us. We would get like almost 5 to 10 influencers per week asking for collaboration because they saw that somebody else is doing. So they also said that we wanted to collaborate with you. So we would, as a barter, we would send the entire line of products, and we would ask them to use it and then review it. So that was pretty much it that we did, where we got like around, yeah, we doubled the sales, um, which was like really good. Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah. So I think it is from, so the marketing strategy, when you're like looking at the product strategy, I think it is important to have an understanding of what the marketing wants the brand to look like in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. And I think that will affect your choices, the kind of product you bring into the assortment, the kind of price points, because essentially if you address the marketing strategy, you know the kind of support you will be getting through the selling sales period for the next 6 months. You know that this is the kind of marketing that's behind my product selection, and I have help selling it. I think in an established retailer, that's like when you're selecting your product assortment, if you know that these are the new lines, new categories that are being introduced, and there is like a big marketing push, marketing budget behind it, you will choose it. I think we've lost Shrishti. Is she there? Or is it me?
yeah, she dropped out. I think there's some
Okay.
internet issue
Did
she
you?
must be facing. Yeah.
Should we wait for her to come back or should we continue?
No, because it's live. I think she will
Yeah,
join back.
she'll join back. Okay. So, for a brand or a retailer, I think how a merchandising and buying team would be doing their analysis, looking back at historical sales, how the season that you've just traded performed. I think a similar thing happens with marketing. They would probably be working very closely with product development. And this is all like for an established retailer or brand, from my understanding, that they would be working close with the product development so that all the new highlights for the season, all the newness that is going to be brought into the business are a part of the marketing budget. And then I think firstly, like understanding the key product lines and the kind of marketing that will be behind it, that will sit under the marketing strategy. Any of your social media strategy, your in-store um, marketing, merchandise, point of sale bits. What is the in a brick and mortar store? What is the window display going to look like? Um, I think all that will fall under the marketing strategy. For e-com, maybe like what the front page looks like.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
yeah. So for e-com, it's more of how you optimize the page becomes how you optimize where to put the headline and what is the headline and SEO optimized and where the image has to happen.
yeah,
My understanding is that Amazon has done like a pretty good research and they keep tweaking on it. So whatever design that Amazon has concluded, that's a good design because they've done enough. They have enough data for coming to that conclusion. So anything that is that's one good thing about online retail is that you can get enough data from all the big players. Like the Amazon has done lots of A/B testing and found out which is the right format. Where should the picture go? Where should the button go? What's the button color? Where should the description go? And where should all
yeah,
the other details, shipping details, vendor details should go? So the
yeah,
layout that Amazon has come up with is a well tested and really effective design. So as much as if you can just keep it as close, I mean, speak to your brand value, but keep it in terms of UX experience. If you keep it as close as Amazon, that should be good too.
yeah. And yeah, I think I've also worked like the retailers. Like if there's an actual advertisement that is going to come on TV channels. Back then, it was like there was social media wasn't as prevalent as it is right now. So you would spend lots of money on creating an advert. So you're just having that the marketing strategy would determine at least the collection or a part of your collection in your exclusive like flagship stores, that these are our key products. You must buy into those and display them in your A grade stores when you're grading them. I think that's what it would help with. Yeah.
That's
And
true. So
yeah.
yeah, Shrishti, what has been your experience on promotion in the sales that when
I from my work, I there've been time, but like what I can remember, or I can in my what I've observed in recently, like as I've spoken about the depth and the width of product ranges, right? But now, when you just have like a singular product, and then you create messages around that product, and it could be maybe it becomes part of your social media strategy, not, and maybe social media again becomes part of your marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So just the conversations that so for example, there is this brand called the Two Brothers, who started with doing only a certain type of atta, which was the kafli atta. Can you hear me? Because my phone actually
yes,
is.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
Okay.
you. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. So yeah, so they just so they were the two streams that they took. They were these organically, they might have shown to some people, and then they did pay for showing up on people's feed as well. And then their whole messaging was around the benefits of the atta, or how it was grown, or how good it is for consumption. And the store also is not a very deep store. So it's a deep store, so it's a deep store, so you don't have many products, so it's just one product that they also highlighted, that particular product, so that was on the front page.
Mm.
And if they had any messaging on SMS or anything, that was the product that was also pushed often. So you started associating that two brothers and then Kafli Atta, and now the product range has expanded. But then you remember them for that particular, and if you want to buy a very traditional native kind of flour, you would go to them. So that it kind of established. So it was very intentionally done, and it was a very strong messaging also. So I think that is what any kind of marketing should be able to do. When you
Yeah.
go into the store, that there is newness coming in, and then
Yeah.
just bring it to the notice of the customers who are walking in, because they might not
Yeah.
find that particular thing, or just
Yeah. I
I
think,
think
yeah. I
so.
think
I have seen, yeah, these kind of examples.
I think in this case, it is. So it sounds like it was a startup, and there was very clear communication. I think the
Yes.
marketing strategy was able to identify that this clear communication has to be rolled out for people to even know what the store is selling and how is the product different. And like we've already spoken of the product strategy. In this case, just having a product strategy is not enough when you have a startup like this, which is just a deep store with one product offering. You also need to have a very strong marketing strategy. You need to understand how to communicate about your product. How is it exclusive or unique from the competitors around? um, just to get the message across to the right audience so that they come and buy it from you. So I think in this case, like for this brand, it's equally important. It's not just about, we had spoken, Mahesh, that getting the product right is one, but even this is like equally important to make sure that it's selling.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because yeah, because if the product is one thing, but it has to go to it has to be consumed by the market also. They should be able to
Yeah,
sell it to the market also.
yeah.
Mm,
I think
so
you had given an
going
example that just having the right product in your hand is sometimes not enough. Like people, like I think it was the example of the manufacturer where you said that they feel that if it's the best product and it's the cheapest, it will just sell. Like you just
that's
put it
true.
in the market and it will sell. But then it needs all these supporting activities, like the strategies
You need to have the
to execute everyday trade.
yeah. So that is why a good product, the difference between a good product. So that's why going back to the core principle of retail, which is 4R: right product, right price, right place, and right time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So 4 hours. So it's not about having a good product, but having the right product. A right product also means that it's the right product for the right customer.
yeah,
So just not having a good product is okay, but you need to have the right product, which means that whether the your customer really want the product at that particular time. Like say for example, a classic example of a right product is that if it's raining, then umbrella will sell easily. Yeah, if it's winter, then a sweater will sell easily. But if you have a sweater on a sunny day, it may not sell. So that's the difference between having a good. You may have the best of the best products, but then whether the market is ready for your product is the right product, right? So that is that's very important, no matter how good your product is.
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
And even offering it, like if you need an umbrella and it's not around you, then you've lost that sales. So like the right place is also important.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Inside the store. Yes.
Yeah. And in this case, like Shrishti's example about the atta, like the right price also matters, I feel. Yes, it is an exclusive product, a very niche, it sounds, and but if you offer it, like if it's out of reach of half of the customers, no matter how good the product is, people will not buy it.
That's
Even if
true.
you communicate about it,
Yeah,
even
so
if you
that's
Yeah.
make
very,
it very
very true.
desirable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. yeah,
I
so
think that's when also messaging sometimes helps. Like you kind of also try to explain why, like for if for example with this brand only, they have their products are expensive. So you can explain
yeah,
why their ghee is expensive, or why this is expensive, and why and how it cannot be cheaper than what they're offering. So there is also that clarification. So sometimes even what you put on the message on your marketing message, like what you
Yeah.
deliver to the customer.
Yeah.
So for in example, in a brick and mortar, maybe it would just be a price point, or it would just be like this is available
Yeah.
because already, or sometimes we would just have that this is pure organic cotton, or this is, Egyptian cotton, or this
Yeah.
product is coming, and because that is the
100%. Yes.
highlight, and therefore then
Yeah.
that also becomes a point of, yes, that also becomes part of the marketing message then,
Yeah.
that this product. So what are you talking about in your message also becomes, it's not just about letting the people know that this product is available, but also sometimes like what other features that this product holds.
Yeah. I think yeah, that also falls under the marketing strategy. And I think before the sales period, it is important to have a view of that alongside your product strategy. I think that is key in this case. And I think not just this unique example of Atta, but I think any startup for that, because they're building a brand which probably is not known, and just creating that space or position for yourself in the market. I think those messages are key. um, yeah. And yeah, I'm just thinking like
But
what else
I was
sits
just
under the
wondering,
marketing strategy. Yeah. Yeah.
I think we lost you, Srishti. What did you say, Srishti? We lost you.
No, I'm just trying to think what else sits under the marketing strategy, because right now we are, social media is like so essential, not just for this industry, but even like if a new movie is being released, they can't just have a promotion in a location, live people attending it in real time, but you need to, social media needs to have that representation. I
Right.
think so. Yeah, like social media strategy, I don't think anybody can get away from it now. If you want to
Yeah.
retail and brand, you have to have a very solid.
Social media is the new TV, right? Like, say, for example, YouTube has become the new TV,
Yeah.
and podcast has become the new radio. And
Yeah.
yeah, so social media has become the new TV. So and people are not looking at the hoardings; they're looking at their mobile. They're not looking at any other TV channel, but they're looking at YouTube and Instagram
Yeah.
and in some countries TikTok. So social
Yeah.
media is where the eyeballs are. So obviously wherever the eyeballs are, that's where
Yeah.
the whole the whole marketing.
So
Uh,
having some understanding of that, the maybe like I'm just trying to like just think, maybe like you will have so many Instagram posts, or you would have some interactive videos talking about the product. Um, like SEOs would maybe be a part of this, and any product representation, like you said, like collaborating with influencers who talk about the product, give you a product review. All that will sit under here. And from brick and mortar, from what I remember, because I've seen people have like the brands I've worked with, they would have a pop up store in a very popular location, which is like popular with the shoppers, popular with tourists in London, and then just having a little representation, which is not a permanent location for a store, and then having like a really good collection there, of your best selling products. And how, and it was like marketing led, like most of these pop up stores were marketing led.
right.
The store did not sit with, I mean, the buying and merchandising teams would support it, but it was like mostly decided by the marketing teams, like this is where we need to, and they would be expensive stores, but they would do the job for the brand recall, brand identity, and especially if you're trying to change the brand image suddenly, like you are a middle-aged brand but you want to target the youngsters, so you have to have the representation in the right places. And apart from that, I think for wholesalers, there would be like these PR events where you would showcase your range, let them have a touch and feel of the products. A nice PR event, either like again, like in a good location where which was accessible, and then you just talk about, you would have like a conference, but that's all in person, like talking about your products
That's
and
right.
exclusive lines or any new additions or new features and functionalities, so they could have a touch and feel of the product, what it looks like and how it would look like if they were to buy into it. Though those are the things that I've seen as a part of marketing. But I think even Mahesh, I think packaging also sits here. So
Yeah,
packaging also sits under the
packaging,
marketing
yes, comes
strategy,
under.
right? Like
Yes,
again,
because
like established retailer
it
doesn't have
comes.
to change anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole for Apple, the whole thing was that how that box used to open, and then how it was already pre-charged. You can use the mobile immediately. So
Ah.
they made a very big
Yeah.
difference
Mm-hmm.
just through the box and the packaging and the experience of them using the mobile even before. Otherwise, before it used to be like a very clunky box and you'll have thermocol and all of that, and then you have to
Okay.
take the device and charge it and then
Yeah.
use it only after 6 hours. So if you buy right now, you can use the product. So Apple was the first company which I think Steve Jobs did this, that he
Okay.
wanted it to be pre-charged so that when people pick it up, they can immediately start using
Yeah.
it, and then like 5-10 minutes, and then they can put it on charge.
Okay. Okay. I think I wasn't an early adopter, so I haven't seen the thermocol boxes. I've seen these new ones with the pre-charged. Like I,
Uh, I don't
so
know about
yeah,
Apple, but then do you remember Motorola and Sony, their
yeah,
boxes?
yeah.
Yeah, so it used to be like a thermocol
Oh
box.
yes, like a
Yeah,
yeah, and then Apple boxes are, yes,
became those like a jewel
yeah,
box.
yeah, yeah. So I think like
Suddenly,
yeah, like marketing, the packaging would sit under marketing, especially if it's changing or if your brand logo is changing. If some colors in the store are changing, they'll all be here discussed here. But those are like, again, I'm talking from the point of view of an established brand and retailer. But yeah, but equally so for a startup. So if you retail jewelry and you're not going to hand it over in handbags or just creating a customer experience, I think that also should sit under here.
which
A
one?
customer experience for
Yeah, the customer experience, yes, yes.
will sit
How,
under the strategy.
yeah, what happens when they enter the store? What happens? How do they try the garment? Or what happens when they get it shipped to their place, and how what is the return policy, and how smooth it is, and how the support is. All of that also comes under the comes under marketing and branding per se, so that people with all of these things, only people remember whether the product was worth buying or not, right? So yeah, to some extent, yes, the customer experience is also, especially when the prices, when you don't compare the price, and when the price is premium, or when the price is not going to be a factor for purchase, then the only way that you can differentiate is through the experience, how they're able to use, and how do they feel when they buy it, rather than the utility itself. So therefore, the experience becomes the branding rather than the product itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like having the product strategy and then having your marketing strategy, I think that is like as ready as you can be to launch a season, to launch a brand. What else would you consider? What else would
So
you need on hand? Like I think
yeah.
all the important numbers maybe, you know, like the finances, working out the financial bits of it.
Yeah, so what I have again and again understood is that yes, there are promotions and there are branding and stuff, but the majority, because of course the product comes under marketing itself. So if we can, like, if the retailer can really think about understanding their customer and launching the right product in at the right time with the right price and in the right place, that itself, the 4 hours itself plays the major, like in the 80-20 rule, the 80% comes from the 20% of whatever that you do. That 20% of the most crucial thing which gives the 80% of the sale is launching the product at the right time, right place, right price, and of course, then if all of this is there, it's the right product. So if we can just do all the 4 hours, also you don't need to do much about all the other stuff around it. Say for example, if it's a right product, the ad cost itself comes down in Google and in Facebook. It's all it's a bidding system, right? So it means, which means that if there are more players looking at your product, then the cost of acquisition automatically comes down because there are many people wanting to see less number of products. That means that Facebook will be happily showing it to a lot of people at a lower cost. So if you just launch the product at the right time, the right product itself, and the price and place not so important. But if you can just launch the right product at the right place, at the right product at the right time, Facebook will start showing your product to many people, and the cost of acquiring customers will just come down, drop down, or the traffic inside the store will drop down. So just by understanding what is the trend, what are the people that what is that people are searching, and whether your product is relevant, and whether it should not be too early, it should not be too late, whether the timing is perfect. If we can just look into that, I've seen so many campaigns where the it makes or breaks the marketing campaign itself. Say for example, right now there is AI, so any advertisement which is connected to AI, the ad costs are much lower, almost 10 times lower than any other ad without the aspect of AI, because people are
Okay.
searching for AI, and there are more eyeballs, people are searching for AI. So
Oh,
and then
all right.
the number of people who are selling is less, and then the people who want to look into your product is more. So
Okay.
there is less demand and high, there is less supply and high on demand. That itself defines whether your product will sell or not. So
Okay.
if we just go back to the basics of the 4 hour itself, and solve the 4 hour itself, most of your marketing challenges gets done, and then we can tweak with packaging, and keeping it at the right place, and all the other things can be
Hmm.
tweaked, like yeah, it's so in one of a very popular marketer, he says that if you if you can serve food to a hungry crowd, and so you don't have to too much care about so many things, because people will just come and dine and have the food. So so marketing itself is about finding a hungry crowd and serving them the food
Yeah.
to start with. Yeah.
Yes. I think that that kind of understanding at the beginning of the whole thing is also important. But do you
Yes.
think like do you have like a lot of flexibility in changing your strategy while like in for example when you're trading with product, when you're in the buying and merchandising team, buyers can the only thing they can do is bring in more merchandise if there's open to buy and they have some vendors who can supply, that's their bit. But merchandising can quickly see that maybe something needs to change, maybe something needs to be promoted, something needs to be pushed forward. Those trading calls have to be taken. Do you think even like marketing, like in the season, like once you start trading the season, do they have the flexibility of changing a strategy? With social media, maybe it might be.
Yeah, with social media, it has become much more easier. If
It
they want
is, yeah.
strategies, yeah, it's much more easier, uh, because by just making because social media also, that you have that flexibility of making a video viral or not. So by having certain things in the video, like having the right hook, and making the product look interesting, you
Yeah.
can kind of, if you want to change the strategy, you can do that using social media with the right hook, with the right content, and presenting it in the right way. It's much more
Yeah.
flexible and it's much more, in control. Before it's like people will come, they will check it out, and they're going to think whatever. They're just going to interact with one salesperson, and depending on that salesperson whether the sales will happen or not. Right now you can actually make like really good content and then mass distribute to many people, and
Hmm.
the way that the way that they write the copy can play a very very important part right now. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
Because I think with brick and mortar, like where you're literally ordering your marketing merchandise, like the vinyls, the stickers. I think it takes time. So you can't like turn the strategy around quickly. If something needs to be changed, you need to have some time because it's literally like produced for you, the
That's true.
posters or the stickers. So that takes time. But yeah, with social media, I think it's quite quick. And
Yeah,
then yeah, I
that's
think we're seeing like a lot of startups selling not that much of wide assortments, but yeah, deep assortments like specialized retailers, startups with some, yeah,
they will be able to do. Yeah, that's true.
offering niche and unique products. Yeah, that's definitely happening. I think we've lost Shrishti now. She's gone. She's is she going to come back or yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I think yeah, pretty much discussed most of the marketing strategy.
Yes, we covered most of it. Yes. Uh, yeah. So we need to see what we will talk again next time.
Okay.
Uh, or
I think
yeah,
see if you look at the wheel, like this is like the stage one, and like I said, that once you start the once it gets into motion, like this is your strategies need to be in place, and then you act on your strategies. And I think with the product strategy, you also have to determine like where you're procuring your material from. With an established retailer or a brand,
yeah,
it's mostly set. As a buyer, you will be probably scouting for more buyers who give you the same product for cheaper, or what are their lead times. There are lots of things that they would be looking at to determine who to work with, but mostly it's a done deal. With a new startup, yes, like finding the manufacturers, like who will manufacture their product, where are they procuring from, the lead times from the factory to the shop, like all that
yeah,
has to be understood firstly, and then yeah, um, and if
that's
there are gaps in the product and your product assortment is saying that in this coming season we are bringing a new category, we're experimenting with a new category, so just understanding who's going to be fulfilling those orders. Because like in India, like when I was working in India, when we decided the product assortment, we would always look at the country of origin, because the country of origin would give us an idea of okay, so if you place an order now, the lead time is this. So the countries closer to India, especially Bangladesh, was able to deliver products quicker. Then there would also be some paperwork that would happen, and some invariably, I think from Bangladesh, though it was so close, paperwork would not like would delay it. So when you're like as a buyer or merchandiser, when you're like planning your product and you want to launch it in a certain season, we would look at the country, like where is my product coming out of? In case I
correct.
have to like air freight it, will I be able to do it?
Do it. Yes.
So Hong Kong, though it was a bit further away, the products were more expensive, it had like better lead times. And
Right.
if push comes to shove, like we could just air freight it directly.
Right.
So
That's
we
true.
would
Yeah.
like consciously have a good balance between like the countries of origin. Like all
Yeah.
fashion merchandise came out of Turkey at that point, but they had really long lead times.
Right. especially
Mhm.
Hong Kong. Hong Kong has always been like, I think they Hong Kong very strategically did that, where they had decreased their lead time for their, so that
Okay.
they can have a competitive edge, right? Even when we were buying from Dubai, Hong Kong was our favorite because
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
But it was expensive. It wasn't cheap. Hong Kong
right,
product was like compared to the same thing coming out of similar thing coming out of
yeah, coming out of
Bangladesh
China,
was
right?
cheaper.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And
it'll
or
be,
another country. Yeah, China also did it for us.
but it
Um,
was very reliable.
yes, yes. So I think that yeah, if that is already taken care of, like that would sit under the product strategy. And maybe you don't have to like make a decision or a strategy every single season. But yes, as
Mhm.
a startup, you need to have that idea and then you need to closely monitor it. And so after this is once your product starts coming in, there would be somebody tracking it, then the trading, like real time, what's happening. And I think it's more so for FMCG where the cover is
Yeah.
shorter, the
Yes.
and the turnaround time for products is rate of sale is higher. I think for those product lines, I think watching your sales in real time. I think if you're working for an online business, you do get real time sales. You do have an understanding of what's happening. I think then how you trade the season that becomes important. So once
Also.
you've determined your strategies and like putting them in place, then you need like people watching it closely. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think for the next one, we could just like maybe create a picture of like what's happening in season. Like what are you doing once you have your strategy in hand? What are you doing with it? You've placed your orders for product.
Right.
Then what happens? Just maybe just like little brief thing of how are you monitoring it?
Right.
That all of this, all the strategies have been put into practice now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. We can do that.
That is one, and the other is again from more um like I've had views, like I have worked closely with the like I've been part of smaller teams where I had the visibility of the financial planning. So when you have a store, if you just have one store, what is the rent, the wages, when you're looking at the P&L at the end of the season or at the end of the year, I think that is also like an important metric to look at. um we could briefly like talk about it maybe later in like one of like as another topic.
Or we can talk about how margins are calculated. When you talked about P&L,
Yeah.
we can do how all of this are created. Maybe we can share the screen and show them like basics of how margin is calculated and how mm, all the
Yeah.
numbers are calculated. Yeah.
Yeah. So
We can.
buying and merchandising's main most important one would be like hitting the sales target and then also hitting the margin, which will
Yeah.
then yeah. And but if you're running it as your own business, the startup, then every expense that goes in has to be accounted for. um so maybe like we can talk about margins to begin with.
Yes. We can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe like from there, I think the conversation about OTB is another important thing we should speak on.
Talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we can talk about margins, and then after that, maybe we can talk about OTB.
Okay. All right. I think Srishti has given up. She's not coming back to the live session.
Not able. We started as three, and then we're ending as two.
Yeah, the teacher has left the chat. But
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, maybe like for the
yeah,
OTP conversation, we can have her around. And even for margins, I think she will have uh, inputs.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So we'll meet up again to talk on margins. next time.
Yes. Yes.
All right.